Andrea. This is Geeky Girls Journal. It is 11:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this is October 15th, 2024. So I wanted to go live just to kind of get an idea what the night crowd looked like because I never do this. So I thought this would be a good idea. Plus, I did tell some of you who were in the live earlier that I would be on later on, but I was so busy momming that I didn't get the opportunity to come on when I thought I would. So I'm here now. I owe this live to you. So we are in here. I'm just going to have a quick conversation and then say goodbye or send you. Hey, Prince, how are you? Thank you for coming in. How are you tonight? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming in. I thought I would be here talking to myself, but turns out there are actually others awake. And you know what? I'm not surprised because YouTube is international, right? Anybody in the world can pop up, and that means that you know, uh, people of all time zones are awake or will be awake at this time. So we're just here checking it out. So, Prince, how was your day? I'm good. I'm all right. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. I am using a new light I was talking about in one of the lives. So it's actually working because you can see how dark it is in back of me. So, um, uh-oh. Trying to, let me move this over a little bit. Okay, that'll work. I can't really see that part. So yeah, I'm glad to see you in here. You know what? So I want to offer a little encouragement while I'm here. I want to do that to anybody that is, going through a challenging time, and that, maybe you think that God's forgotten about you, or He put you on the back burner or something of that nature. So I want to remind you that He has not forgotten. And I can say that because I don't know, for me at least, God always seems to send me. Okay, you know how you have that, what, like a life raft, or what is it called, like phone a friend type thing? Remember that show where they had to phone a friend if they got stuck, and then they were like, "Hey, I don't know the answer, so maybe I'll phone a friend, I'll text a friend, I'll do something." But you had like a lifeline. That's what it was called, a lifeline. And hi, Landon Hicks. How are you? Thank you for coming in. I think you're new here, so thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. Pedro, warm apple pie. Okay. It's probably the light because I have a new light, so maybe that's why you feel the warmth and the love. Maybe that's what a good warm apple pie feels like. I don't like apple pie, so whatever you think. So yeah, well, in those moments where you feel like nobody's there, nobody's listening, God's not there, He's not listening to you, I want to reassure you that He is. And He sends you, some people call them little winks, God winks, but he sends you a sign, He sends you a message, He sends you a person, He sends you something just to let you know that you're on the right track and that He has not forgotten you. How do I know? Because I've experienced this. And I want to, hi, okay, looks like the message was retracted. Yeah, and I just want to remind you of His love for you. He loves you so much that He is concerned about even those minor little details, those things that you think are so minor that He is not paying attention, but He is paying attention. He is paying attention to you. If God says that He knit you in your mother's womb, and He's concerned about everything concerning your life. He knows everything. He knows everything that's in your heart. He knows everything that you're going through. So He is concerned, even in the little details. So I say that because I was thinking, Lord, I had all these questions, and I was asking a couple questions, and then all of a sudden I was talking to a family member, and this family member had no idea that I was praying about this, that I had something to say about it. Hi, Fun. How are you? Thank you for coming in. Make sure you all hit the likes up. Thank you very much. And if you're not a part of the Geeky Girls Journal family, this is a great time to become a part. So Hi, Born to Eat. So yeah, I was having, just having this time with my father. Hey, Jamie. Hey, you all are up late. Look, everybody's up late. So I was having this time with my father, and, I was just like, I'm always asking this question. I'm like, Lord, like, what do you want me to do? And I know those of you who are not newbies, who are, here listening to me, and who are supporters, you've already heard something similar where, I ask God questions. Let's just put it out there. I ask God lots of questions. Why? Because I think I should. Why not? Why not ask God questions? He knows all. He knows what direction my life is heading. So, and He created me. So, shouldn't you go to the Creator to find out things about you? I mean, I create products, I create things for people. And if you want to know how that thing is supposed to function, you would come and ask me the questions, right? Because I am the one who created it. I had the product's objective or purpose in mind. So you go to the person that creates it. Hey, Jamie, I hope I said hey. I read somewhere in the Bible where He allows people to have multiple wives. Not now, Prince. Is that something you're considering doing? That was something that happened back in the Bible days, but you should read about that part because I don't think that's something you want to do right now. That's something we call what? Is it polygamy? So, how is this even possible? He would allow people to have multiple wives. Well, let's look it up. Let's look that up. But let me talk about this first because I'm going to get off task. I already know how this works. And then I'm going to tell you where you can find it in the Bible. You can, but it's called polygamy. I'm pretty sure it's called polygamy. Okay, multiple wives in the Bible. And then, just Google it and we could talk about this together, but I wanted to just to increase the population. Born to Eat. You think that He did it just to increase the population? Born to Eat? You think that it was allowed, multiple wives were allowed just to increase the population? Okay. So you all keep thinking about that, and I want you all to think about that statement that was made until I finish this part. Okay, I can't answer on behalf of Muslims because I'm not a Muslim, and I never like to speak on behalf of anybody else. I don't know anything about that belief or that religion, so I am not the person to speak to as it pertains to Muslims, what they believe and what they do or anything of that nature. So you would have to ask somebody who is a part of that community. I am not, and I do not want to make things up because I know I don't know. It's a part of Christianity. It is no longer, maybe back then in the Bible, back then, all the way back then in the Old Testament, but not right now. Sounds interesting. Increase the population. Okay, so it was permitted. Okay. So I'm gonna say it was permitted. It was permitted back then, but I don't know if it was encouraged. Now that's the part I'm going to have to look into because I'm not sure if it was encouraged. Right? I know that some people did have multiple wives. Some people did have multiple wives. Some people had wives, and some people had what are they called? I just it slipped my mind. I can't remember the proper terminology, but I'll think about it and then I'll circle back to this. But yeah, this is something we can definitely talk about on another live. So this one, okay, I just wanted to jump in real quick and talk about the encouragement aspect of if you think you are alone, you are not alone. Okay, and I can tell you that for sure because so many times God has sent somebody through way of a message, a phone call, or if I'm having a conversation with someone in person, they'll tell me something, or they'll just be talking about something random, and then I'm just like, I was just talking about that, or God, I was just asking God about that. And somewhere along the line in the conversation, I get the answer to my question. So that's why, you all, I think it's perfectly okay to ask God questions, right? Now, I guess it depends on how comfortable you are with asking questions to God and what you believe your relationship is with God. Me, I'm asking the questions. Why? Because, like I said, who better to go to find out about myself? He created me, so he knows all about me. He even said it in the Bible. He says he knew me when I was in my mother's womb. So he knows me better than I know myself. He knew me before I even knew who I was, right? So I'm going to the one that knows best. That will be God. All right. So anyway, I want to let you know, if you are struggling with anything, to go to the Father first. And if you feel like you don't have those answers, sometimes you do have to be still. And I told you all this before. It takes lots of work for me to just be still, right? It takes some work because I'm a doer. I'm somebody that, if you can remember the story of Lazarus, right? Lazarus, he had a sister named Martha and a sister named Mary. The one sister, Martha, was really busy doing her things, or doing all the things, trying to get prepared, and she was just moving, she was cooking, she was cleaning, she was doing all the things. I can be a Martha a lot of times, right? I'll be doing all the things. But then he also had this sister named Mary. And if you know the story, Martha, Mary, Lazarus, Jesus' friends, you can go read this story in the Bible and find out in detail what I'm talking about. So you have Mary, who, what did she do? She sat at Jesus' feet. She sat there. And in my mind, I'm just thinking she just took everything in. She absorbed everything. She sat at his feet. She was still. She was patiently waiting. She was gathering all the information, right? She was sitting there. And to me, that's a big deal for someone like me to sit there at the feet of Jesus. Not a big deal because she was sitting at the feet of Jesus, but just sitting there because they had just lost a brother. And instead of her making herself busy or finding all these projects to do, and maybe Martha, let me give her some leeway. Maybe Martha was keeping herself busy to keep her mind off of what was happening, right? Or maybe Martha's just a busybody. Maybe she just likes to be busy. Maybe she likes to have things going on. And maybe Mary's personality allows her to just sit there at Jesus' feet. I mean, I don't know. It can be so many different variables, but to hear and to see those two different personalities are very helpful for me, because I see that you have one that is trying to do, that is trying to, do all the things, and she may have been camouflaging her feelings through doing, or she may have just had a lot to do on her list. She may have had a list, an agenda, and said, I got to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, all the way to Z, right? I need to get all these things done. But she was ignoring the most important thing, and that was paying attention, listening, sitting still, and waiting for Jesus and listening. Mary, you see, she didn't care about all those things, and she probably irritated Martha. She probably irritated Martha because Martha even said, Mary's not doing anything. She's just sitting there. I'm paraphrasing, but this is pretty much what she did. She's not doing anything. The only thing she's doing is sitting there. Shouldn't she be doing something else? Shouldn't she be cooking? Shouldn't she be cleaning? Shouldn't she be helping me out? I'm sitting here doing all the work. She's not doing anything. She's just sitting there looking, right? I can hear the whole conversation. But we're told that Mary was doing the most important thing, which was to sit at the feet of Jesus. So I say all that to say, maybe that's what we have to start doing. Sitting at the feet of Jesus, right? How does that look for you? I don't know. Maybe it means you got to be still, or maybe it means you have to just be patient and wait. Don't be impatiently waiting, but maybe you have to sit and wait patiently and find out what the Father has to say to you. That's a part of relationship. What is God saying to you? Right? And so, like I said, when I needed that, just that word just to keep me going, because I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm finished. I was so frustrated. I was like, nothing's happening. Nothing's moving. I wanted to go this way. It's not moving the way that I wanted to go. Am I still doing things? I'm still moving. I'm still doing things. And I'm saying, I trust God to work because I know He works in the background and I know He works in the foreground. I know He just works, right? But I wasn't seeing the movement that I wanted. So now I'm like, okay, maybe I can do more. Like Martha, let me do this. Let me hit those checkpoints. But then someone came along, like I said, had no idea what I was praying about, what I was thinking about. And they were like, it's going to happen for you. I see it coming. You just got to be patient. You just have to be patient. And I was just like, ugh, I keep hearing that. Patience, patience, patience. Keep hearing it. And I know also that God's working on me with patience. And I feel like I just saw a bug or something go past. Did you all see that? So yeah, I know that, like I said, I'm a pretty patient person. But for that to keep coming up, I know that I need to sit at the feet of Jesus more. It's not going to hurt me. Definitely not going to hurt me. It's only going to make me a better person. And that was one of the reasons, you all, why I wanted to do the Bible challenge. I'm born to eat, but I believe the purpose of Creator is to only create, but rest of life is upon you. All depends on your decision making. God only made you, whom you marry, and when you die. Well, this is what I think. Thank you for sharing that. Hey Charles, how are you? I'm doing fine. I'm glad you're in here. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you for coming in. Well, that's a pretty interesting perspective, Born to Eat. You said you believe the purpose of a creator is to only create, but the rest of the life is upon you. I would have to have more context in order to answer that question because I can go different ways with it. And I don't know if I'm misinterpreting what you're saying. So if you're still here and you want to continue the conversation, just put it in the comment section. So I think that because God is sovereign, He does give us the ability to make decisions, right? He gives us the ability to decide which way we want to go. Yes, He created us, and we are created in the image of God, right? What I'm trying to say is, if God created us, not if, but God created us, if for those of you who may not believe that are here, God created us. So He created us and knows everything about us, right? He knows all the intimate details, the things that your parents may not know, the things that your spouse may not know, the things that your children may not know about you. So He knows all these things about you, and He created you. So therefore, if He created you, He knows your thoughts. He knows your every desire. He knows your next move. He knows what you're going to be doing 10 years down the line, right? We don't know all those things because those are things that are futuristic for us. So if He knows all those things, and if you want to get in alignment with what God has for your life, that means you have to be in alignment with what His will is for your life. So if He created you, He knows what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it. I'm saying it's in my best interest. You may feel differently, that person who's on the other side of the screen, but this is just my opinion. My opinion is that if God created me, God knows me best. So why would I consult someone else before I consult God? Right? Remember the movie, and I'm just going to think of something that may be relatable. Pinocchio, the movie Pinocchio. Okay, remember the person that created Pinocchio? What is he? A puppet master, or he created Pinocchio. So he knew all the details about Pinocchio, right? When Pinocchio's nose grew, he knew that meant he was lying. So say your eye twitches or something like that. God knows you're lying. Even people who are around you, if they see your eye twitch, if they're around you for a lengthy amount of time, they know that every time your eye twitches, you're lying. So just imagine that if God created you, he doesn't have to see your eye twitch. First of all, he already knows what your thoughts are. He knows what your thoughts are. So he already knows that you're lying. In fact, he already knows you're going to lie before you even do it. So to me, if some power, some God, our God, knows those things about us even before they start, why wouldn't I go to him first? And why wouldn't I want to sit at his feet? Why wouldn't I want to sit at his feet and ask him questions? Why wouldn't I want to have conversations with him? And how do we have these conversations? Through prayer. How do we have these conversations? Sometimes you speak to other believers or you talk to other people, and like I said, through conversation, you can get your answer, right? So let me see what you all say. Hey, Busta Move, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. Let's see what Born to Eat said. Example, you drink water or Coke. You know drinking water is good for health, but Coke is all sugar. You know the consequences. But still we choose Coke and we get diabetes. Yeah, so that was a choice that you made. I'll follow you. Yes, you are correct, no doubt. But I believe God only created. He knows whom you marry and when you die, and everything else you do by your own. Okay. All right. So I think that we agree on the decision making part. We agree on the example about the water and the Coke. Yes, I chose to have Coke or Pepsi. I prefer Pepsi. I chose to have Pepsi instead of water, and I know the consequences. That's the same thing in life. You choose different, you make a choice. And for every choice that you have, there's going to be a consequence. For every action is a reaction, right? Everything you do, there is going to be a consequence, whether it be a positive consequence or a negative consequence. But I believe also that throughout our life, I'm trying to look at this part you said, the consequences of we steal. Okay, he knows whom you'll marry and when you die, and everything else you do by your own. Now, see, I don't believe in that part. I don't believe that everything else I'm doing by myself, because, say for example, I went out, I got on the highway, right, and I don't want to use myself because I don't like to speak things into existence. But say that there was a particular car that is on the highway, and there's let me think about this. They're driving at a regular speed, right? They're doing a speed limit, and then another vehicle comes from the side and side swipes them or hits them from behind or creates this, this disturbance, which makes them go into the median or something like that. Anyway, the car's damaged, the person's damaged. Now, that, or the opposite of that is that could have happened, but God intervened, right? God didn't allow it to happen, what could have happened to you to happen, because he was there to protect you and to shield you. Now, in situations like that and tons of other situations, I can tell you that God is in the midst of those things. Why? Because we can't control those situations. We don't know what's going to happen. We didn't know that red car was going to come out of nowhere and hit you, right? But with the covering of God, he was the one that protected you from that. So I don't know if that's what you're talking about, or if you're just saying that God gives us the ability to make our own decisions, right? Because he knows all things. So I'm kind of trying to figure out if you're just saying he knows when you're going to marry and he knows when you're going to depart this earth, and then everything in between there he doesn't know. I think that's the part I'm confused on, because I believe he knows everything about your life. Let me make sure it's clear. He knows everything. He knows all things. That's what I believe. So if you believe something else, that's just what you believe. We just have a difference of opinion, and that's okay. because I'm not your God. I'm not your boss. It's just my opinion. And so, yeah, that's what I think. And I think that you you guys and girls, if we in fact allow God to have the complete authority and to be the authority in our life, then things are not going to bypass us. Like, we're still going to experience hardships. We're still going to experience challenges. We're still going to experience trials and sorrow, right? We're still going to experience all those things. How do I know? Because it says it. It's in the word. We're going to experience those things. He said it. The only difference is that God is going to be with us through those things. So if you're also in a place where, like I was saying earlier, you feel like things are not moving along for you, or that you're stuck in a place, or that there's a stronghold, or that you're not moving in the direction that you want to go, I'd say continue to consult the Father. Continue to consult the Father, because we don't know everything. There are only certain things that we know. There are only certain things that we can see. There are only certain situations, and so we have limited amounts of information. I'll just say it that way. We have a limited amount of information. God does not. He does not. He is all knowing, all seeing. So where we fail and where we don't have all the information, we don't have all the answers, we can always go to one that knows it all, that has all the answers. And this is where I think some people kind of get tripped up. Just because God does not answer us right now, and when we want him to answer, does not mean he doesn't know the answers. He knows all the answers. It also does not mean that he's not working behind the scenes, because he's working behind the scenes. He is working on our behalf. God is present everywhere. So I don't know, like I said, I don't know much about your religion. I'm just here trying to figure out mine. Well, not even more so religion, more relationship. So thank you for sharing the information, because I don't know about Vishnu. Hopefully I'm saying it correctly. In our religion, Vishnu the carrier. I don't know anything about that. So I can't even I'm not going to have a debate with you. I can't even have a debate with you, because I know nothing about that topic. But I do believe God is present everywhere. He is present. He is present. So thank you for sharing that. Born to eat, and I thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in and sharing this information. Me, like, if I have not made that clear, I am a believer, Christian. So ultimately, what that means to me is I believe in the Trinity. I believe in the Father. I believe in God the Father, the Son, who is Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. So I believe in the Trinity. So that is where my comfort level is. I can speak on those things, and I'm still not an expert, right? I'm still not an expert. I'm still learning things about God every day. In fact, that is my goal, to learn things about God every day. So turns out I am like a Mary. I am a Mary. I sit at Jesus' feet. I try to find out things about Jesus. I seek to find. And I know that the more I seek, the door will be open, right? And it sounds like Born to Eat, you're seeking, and I don't know if you're, I don't know if you're here to find out more about Christianity, or here just to let me know about the Muslim religion. or if you're just here to have a conversation, which I'm cool with either one. But I just want you to know beforehand, like I said, that I don't know about the Muslim religion. I only know, I know very little, but um, I'm busy over here trying to figure out about Jesus. So I do like to learn different things, but like I said, I'm trying to learn about Jesus, and I'm trying to learn all I can about God. Two things. One is immorality by meditation to reach God, or maksh, and second is to pass information by reproduction. Whatever you do, it's up to you whether you want to be. Okay, it looks like you're still writing. So yeah, it seems like the focus is on two things for you because you said it. Two things: immorality by meditation to reach God, and second is to pass information by reproduction. So that's probably why you made that statement all the way in the beginning. So I see where you're going. That is why you made those two statements, because you said that these two things are important. This is the purpose of life. Okay, there we are. So, all right, well, there lies our difference, because, and you said nothing else. Okay, so the purpose of life for you and your religion are those two things: to, you said immorality, to meditate and reach God, and then to pass information through reproduction or by reproduction. So that's why you brought marriage up. I'm clear. Okay, so for me, there are major purposes in my life. This is the ultimate truth. So for me, the ultimate truth is making sure that I have a relationship with Jesus Christ, and making sure that I am a disciple for Christ. Now, discipleship for me is telling others about Jesus Christ, right? That is what one of the reasons why I was placed on this earth, to tell people about Jesus Christ. Now, it looks like your reasoning is to tell others about what your religious beliefs are. I respect that. I don't agree with it, but I respect it. Okay, so here we have someone that is on the side of Christianity and someone who is Muslim. And like I said, I don't know much about it other than what I'm told. Like, I've had conversations with other people who believe the same thing you believe, and I understand what you're saying. I just don't practice that. Does that make sense? I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus. Like I said, I believe in the Trinity. So that's where I go with that. This is the ultimate. Everything is same. Your God, my God. We came from a point, we will end in a point. Now that we can agree with. We were all born, and we're all going to eventually leave this place. Now, the question is, where are you going to go? Right? That's the question. The question is, where are you going to end up when you expire? Hey, Shan, how you doing, Shan Tyron? Thank you for coming in. Shan Tyron, oh my goodness. I have to tell you something, because remember that video where you were, where were you at? McDonald's? I think it was McDonald's. And I'm sorry, I got to change the subject for a minute. Born to Eat. Shan Tyron, I believe it was McDonald's, or it was someplace I think you were eating, and they charged you the wrong price, and you were just like really not fixated, that's not the right word, but you were really adamant about finding out why there was an error and why you were mischarged or something like that. So the same thing happened to me last week, and it was not pennies we're talking about. It was like hundreds of dollars twice. It was two mistakes from the same person. And I had to call. I kept calling, because I was like, something just did not sit right with me. And I told you, I'm like you, if it's a penny off, 50 cents off, I want to know why. I have questions like, why is it 50 cents more, or 50 cents less even? Why is it 50 cents less than what it was supposed to be? Or why is it $100 or $300 or $500 more than what you told me it was going to be? So here I am asking questions. Hey, Samira, how are you? Hey, Samir, how are you doing today? Hey, Ruthie. So, ladies, you're coming in. I was having this conversation with Born to Eat. I don't know if Born to Eat disappeared or not, but we were having a conversation. Born, if you're still here. So, Shantirement, the same thing happened. And I was like, no, I can't let it slide. I couldn't let it go. So I had to keep making phone calls and keep making phone calls. Eventually, the person was like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's definitely our mistake. And I'm like, I have two kids in these expensive colleges. I can't let hundreds of dollars just go. That's my money. That's my money. I told you all, I'm real like down to the penny. I watch my dollars. I watch my hundreds in this case. And I was like, I can't let that slide. No, 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 ma'am. So I think I finally got to the bottom of it, but I told the lady on the phone, I said, listen, I'm the type of person, because they didn't call me back. I called them back again, and I will call back again and again and again. And I told them, I'm the type of person, if you don't call me back, oh, I'm calling you that next day as soon as you open. If you open at 8 o'clock, I'm calling you at 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be ready. And, the lady was kind of laughing because it wasn't her that made the mistake, but it was a, coworker or someone like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm not trying to be like a villain, but it's my money. My husband worked hard for that money. I work hard for, I work. I work hard in this household. So I want my money. I want my money. And that's that. Like I said, I have, children over here to provide for. So I want all my coins, right, Ruthie? All of them. All of the coins. Give me all the coinage, and the money that folds, I want that too. I want all of it. So, and it's not like I'm not taking from anybody. It's mine. And you overcharged me by hundreds of dollars. So I'm like, no, no, no. These are the calculations that I got. So how did you get this and I got that? And so we resolved the issue. So I'm going to make sure that everything is in its place. And then, if it is, then I'll move on. But if it's not, then we'll be calling again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So that's too much even for, yes, too much money. Too much, Samira. I'm not, no, 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 no. I want my money. I want my money. Because that's only fair. Like, it's different if I paid for that service, or I ate that amount of food, or I purchased that amount of clothing, but that's not what happened. It was just a miscalculation, and I'm not the type of person to just allow it to slide. No, I got this, you got that. I then got this amount. Your amount looks different. Why is that? Because this is what the amount should be, but instead I was charged this. So can you explain to me why you got this, why I got that? Were there service fees included that I didn't know about? Were there were there whatever? Do you have some hidden undercover fees? Because I want to know all those fees. Tell me what they are, how much are they, so I can ring all those up. Okay, there's none, so why is it an additional couple $100? Yeah, I need to know. So we found out. Anyway, yeah, so I was just saying, when I saw your name, Shantirement, I completely thought about it. And I was like, yeah, I got to tell Shantirement. So just know you're not the only one out there like that. Looks like Ruthie is too, because she says she wants her coins too. And Samira, that's too much, even for online. Absolutely right. I totally understand. I do the same thing. I'm not going away. I'm not, no, I'm not, I'm not going away. And I try to tell the people, listen, you're not going to get rid of me. So if you want to transfer me to your boss's boss, that is fine. I'll talk to whoever. I don't mind. Put me on the phone with the manager. Put me on the phone with the supervisor. Put me on the phone with the business owner. What are we talking about? I don't mind. I'll talk to whoever, because my ultimate goal is just to get to the bottom of it. Where was the mistake made? Okay. Let's try to resolve this issue. How can we resolve this issue? Right? How can we resolve this issue? So I already know how I want to resolve the issue. So I'll tell you, and then we can work through it. Now we're going to do this math problem together so that you can see how I got this amount. And now you see, okay, I'm not trying to get over, but let's talk this out. Okay, now we have the same figure. I'm happy. Now I'll leave you alone. Send me a receipt, please and thank you. I want everything broken down into details. Email it to me so I'll have it. Thank you very much. That's me. So anyway, long story short, have a paper trail or ask questions, because I saw that Shan Tyman did that, and I'm sure a lot of you others do that who's going to be listening to this replay. So don't be afraid to ask the questions. Ask questions. If you are uncertain about something, ask questions. And that's what you know what, that ties into what I was talking about tonight. If you're uncertain about your life, the direction it's going, what you're supposed to be doing, whatever the question is, you ask the person that created you. You ask the one who created you. Who is that? God. You ask God. That's how I got into that conversation with one of the chatters. So I had to do that with the hotel. I was charged $600 more than I was supposed to. Never again. I always use booking. This time I didn't. See? Nope. See? No. Born to eat you the same way? Exactly. No. If you are overcharged, you are well within your rights to go ask questions. I don't care if it's a hotel. I don't care if it's the doctor's office. I don't care if it's McDonald's. I don't care. I don't care who it is. You have the right to ask questions. It's your money. You pay for it. Ask the questions, right? Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. Because I'm the type of person, I will not be satisfied until I have an answer that I can understand. So if to me that means asking more questions so that I can get a better understanding, because maybe I just misunderstood what you said. So I'm going to ask you several questions to make sure that I have some clarity. Now, once I get the clarity, I'm fine. I'm fine, but you better believe I'm not going to walk away not knowing. I'm not going to walk away and be like, I should have asked this question, or I wonder why. No, just know I wonder why. I'm got whatever it is that I wonder, I'm asking. Do the same thing. I'm telling you, don't stress yourself out. Just ask. Hey, I'm a little I'm just a little puzzled. I saw my bill and I just want to know why this is that. Ask the questions, ask the hard questions. I gave the grief in person and on the phone. Well, that's how you got to do it. I mean, because a lot of our transactions are done online or over the phone, so then that's how you have to do it. I also had to do it over the phone. And I'll tell you the truth, if it was close enough to me that if I would have had to go in person, I would have definitely done that. If that's what it would, if it would have called for that, I would have done it. But you do it on the phone, in person, whatever. Now, don't go in there acting. I'm not saying, you also have to, speak intelligently. Not saying that you all don't, or that if you're listening to this, you're not doing it. I'm just saying, you don't have to be all out. You don't have to be belligerent with people. You don't have to be, you don't have to get out of character, but state your reasoning for calling or showing up and explain what it is that you want. State your case and have a conversation and go from there. And you don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to do all that. Now, sometimes you may have to deal with some tough personalities, and that may call for other actions. Now, that would be up to you how you want to decide to do it. But if you got to take a step further to get your $500, $600 back, then you do that. So anyway, it's 12 a.m. It's a new day. Hey, it is Wednesday, October 16th. Hey, y'all. Hey. Happy Wednesday. It's October 16th. What are you all doing today? You have plans? And then, I'm going to go because I need to go do some more stuff. I need to go work on my business real quick. I need to do that and then get up in the morning and get ready to drop children off. So what are you all doing? Those of you that are in here, you have any plans for tomorrow outside of YouTube? I mean, it looks like we all gonna be on YouTube. So it's been lovely having this conversation with you all. I'm glad that you were able to come in and spend a little time with me before you wind down or before you do whatever you have to do. So I just want to say thank you all again for coming in and spending this time. I appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Hopefully that will be tomorrow. If not, catch me in the next video. And I will see you all. Have a great Wednesday. Have a great, great Wednesday. All right. Have a good one. See you all later.